Hello, everybody, and welcome to RollPlay One Shots Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay. Look at that grimdark overlay. I love it. It's so cool. I haven't seen it before. Yes. Hi, everybody. Look, I have players, and we have a chat, and we have a role-playing game, and we're going to do a one-shot. And I don't want to spend too much fucking around time at the beginning, but it's nice to warm up. We all just kind of got here. It's nice to see you all again. What's everybody been up to? I feel like Sam and Dodger, you did something important since the last time that we played a role-playing game. I can't for the life of me remember what it like.
Not really.
Well, there was something. It doesn't matter though. Don't worry about it. BikeMan, how you doing, man? What's been going on?
I'm fantastic. How you doing?
I'm good. It was nice to see you. Yeah. Okay. Good. I knew somebody had. How's that going?
Not steal anyone else's thunder.
Yeah.
Right. It's doing dishes.
Yeah. That's good. It's like the baby in Who Framed Roger Rabbit. It's like a full-grown adult just hanging out in the house doing stuff. Yeah, it's going good. I wanted to thank you. I didn't have the opportunity. You were in my stream the other day. We were watching trailers for reminding me to watch that Suspiria trailer.
Yeah.
That looks great.
And I found out you were a fan of Goblin, and I was like, brothers, to the end of time and space.
Yeah, dude. There's this whole like 80s horror movie soundtrack thing that is just so like weird and strange.
And you had to order them from Verici Servandi. That was the only place you could get the CD back then.
That's right. Yeah. Yeah. Mail order from Italy. And you're like, cool. I will enjoy this compact disc in 19 months when it arrives. Yeah. Yeah. That's great. Yeah, that's good. Now, have you seen we watched the trailer for Mandy right after that. Have you seen Mandy yet?
I got it on Amazon and I haven't watched it yet.
I haven't watched it yet. Man, it looks.
You have to be a certain mood.
During that trailer.
It looks like.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well,
I'm not like. I feel like Nicolas Cage at this point. If someone suggests that I should watch a Nicolas Cage movie, I'm like, it seems like you're fucking with me. You don't actually want me to have a good time. But then I watched the trailer for Mandy, and I was like, okay, this seems cool. They've got an enormous chainsaw, and there's what looks like a magic axe.
You might be wondering why Dodger ran away there. Our guest bedroom has just 4 sexual Nicolas Cage pillowcase covers.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Excellent. Good.
So she went to hide them and has nothing to do with anything else.
Makes sense to me.
I can't wait. I can't wait to see them. That's very exciting. Well, that's cool, man. Thank you. Yeah, thank you for reminding me that Suspiria is coming out. I'm gonna watch the original again, and I'm gonna go in and watch this one.
Yeah, definitely hype.
Yeah. So you were playing. I watched you and Max playing that Vietnam game last night. How was that?
Oh, it's been out for a while. They just released like a new update, and it's one of those games that you could play for a while before you get really frustrated and throw your computer across the room. So
it kind of seemed that way. Like it sort of seemed like
it's like really being in a war, and you realize when bullets are flying at you, like you feel like you're on the D-Day beach invasion. You're like, I died just as much as everyone in D-Day.
Yeah. Turns out the Vietnam War, not really a great time for anybody. Honestly, just not a great time.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I'd like to promise you that you're gonna have a better time here today, but Vietnam may seem like a cakewalk compared to. We'll check in at the end. If I die
as many times as I do in the Vietnam game, then I'll be incredibly impressed, sir.
I can only promise you that you might wish you were dead. That I can give you that instead.
All right,
I can give you that.
The sweet release.
The sweet release of death. Yeah,
mercy.
That's all I ever hope for my players, that they beg for death. So Pokket, how are you doing?
I too.
Your Instagram is so good, Pokket, and I know that I said this before every goddamn episode of Nebula Jazz, but I've been saving it up. Every time I see you post something on Instagram, I'm like, so good.
I've been slowing it down on Instagram. I've been slowing it down. I felt like I was like, even posting every day was getting a little overwhelming because I was just like, I have to take photos and have them prepared and too much. So I slowed it down a lot, but I've been enjoying it more. And I stopped taking it so seriously.
Yeah.
Hiding wait, what are Instagram pillows? Is that a thing?
No, it's just because the last time we were talking about something, Dodger got up to run and embarrassingly hide. So the implication there is that she's also got pillows that are printed photos of you from your Instagram that she's now.
Wait, let me see if I can
hiding. So
give you guys a sense of scope here.
No, I'm not. Okay. But yeah, no, I too had a baby, but it was a kitten and
nice.
very
Nice.
annoying. So
Yeah. Normally people would like go to a pet store or like the pound to get a small animal, but you had one, so that's
no, I
interesting.
didn't.
That's cool.
I didn't mean like that. I got a
Um,
kitten since Nev Jazz.
Oh, that's much more normal. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
So yeah, my she's evil. She's the most evil cat I've ever had. But yeah, I
Really?
mean, other than that, just been playing WoW a lot, too much.
Wow.
Wait,
And
she's a
so,
kid
so
and she's already the most evil?
Yeah. Oh yeah. Oh, she's bad.
So cute.
There's like
If
my.
it's
I have
any
an emo-
consolation, our kitten was evil and she's mellowed out as she's got older.
It's
I
true.
really hope
she was
mellows out.
very evil.
Yeah, when she ate her body weight in almonds during the night, and we found her, and she was twice the size she should be. And then she
Yeah.
went into surgery, and they gave us a jar of almonds that was bigger than her, and we're like, we don't know how she did it, but she did.
I don't want to alarm you, but I don't think that's a cat. I think you're describing a gremlin from the 1980s film Gremlins.
It's possible she's a gremlin. Yeah, we're not
I
sure.
think you
God,
might
that
have a
doesn't make
gremlin.
So much sense.
Right. So yeah. It's important to check the label when you buy a new pet. Yeah. So how evil in what sense? Like, is your cat just a dick to you, or like?
Every single photo I've ever taken of her, she looks like she is the angriest animal on earth. I even have an emote where she's just angry, and then she purposefully goes out of her way to tear up everything she can, especially my cosplay. Like she just makes a beeline for the cosplay.
Flips it up.
I
like an
think
asshole.
she's evil because she likes water. That's weird. It's not normal.
Like she's some kind of
Yeah.
swimming cat?
No, I
Watson
mean she's
also
like
likes
obsessed
water.
with water, and she harasses the other cats around water, so that like putting their toys in the water bowl, so they have to get it out and just stuff like that.
I really
I don't know.
like this Monty Python and the Holy Grail like evilness logic. Like, how do we know a cat is evil? Does it like water? Like, it's a given. We know these things. A normal cats don't like water, so it must be evil. Cool. Well, I hope that you and your devil cat are very happy together, and that it doesn't. Oh, nice! Thank you. Those are beautiful.
Keeping the cage alive.
Good.
You're welcome.
That's good. I like it. He's just like gently touching that rainbow. That's good. It's really nice.
Yeah. It's like he's stroking your hair when you're sleeping.
Right? Yeah, so you can wake up and turn your head slightly, and he's right there in your face and two-dimensional. That's fantastic.
Was there?
Good old
I know
Nicholas.
that I stepped away a couple of times. Was there any context to showing that picture?
No.
Or not really?
No.
Okay.
It's nothing to be embarrassed about.
Yeah.
I'm not embarrassed.
decided-
I'm confused.
Yeah, I couldn't think of anything to get the banter going, so I was like, Sam, show us a random picture from your phone. And
Just
luckily,
texting him. Sam.
that's the one
Yeah.
that came up.
Thank God I didn't swipe left.
Bail me out, Sam. Bail me out. Come on, man. Well, besides collecting sexual pillows, what have you been up to, Sam? How's it going?
Well, look, I figured out that if someone took your shadow and made it into a person, it would be me. Look.
Oh yeah. Feeling it.
Yeah.
Yeah. all I've ever wanted was someone to recreate the plot of the movie Twins. I would happily be your Danny DeVito.
I'm
do it.
evil Adam.
Look at you guys. You're so cute.
You got to work pretty hard to be the evil version of me, bro. So congratulations on that. If you're evil Adam, man, the world better look out. Yikes. Yeah. Well, cool. So you really upped your fashion game since the last time I saw you. That's nice. Playing some video games,
Yeah.
I assume.
Yeah.
What are you playing these days, man?
I started I played my first Yakuza game, Yakuza 0.
All right.
And I'm completely in love. I literally just have the tiniest bit left of the game, and I'm trying to get through the.
Just hang on for one
okay.
For 1 second. What is the name of the game that you're playing?
Yakuza 0.
Sure. Okay.
Adam's
You're
just a
killing me,
big old
Sam.
weeb.
I'm sorry, Mr. Japanese. I didn't say Yakuza. All right.
You don't have to shout it like you're a samurai.
I feel like he wanted me
no,
to
I
shout
just-
it. Okay.
A Sam
Listen, that wasn't
guy?
for you. Wasn't for me. That was for chat. They knew I was gonna suffer.
Yeah,
I've suffered through JP and Co and everyone doing it, and now they just do it to be mean to me, and that's fine. So yeah, did you finish Yakuza
So
0?
I'm literally on the very last chapter, but chat basically bullied me into doing the property game before I finished.
Oh, it's so boring.
So now I'm just at a terribly boring standstill. It's the worst part of an otherwise perfect game. But I'm excited to reach the climax, and then I'm definitely going to be moving on to Kiwami. So
Nice.
You did the host.
Yeah,
I went above and beyond for that. Cabaret
all right.
club. Yeah.
Mini game bias, I see.
There's never been a cabaret.
I mean, to be
club.
fair,
Right.
one of them is a mini game, and the other is a series of boring chores. So I could see why.
I don't know anybody who's played. I don't know anybody who's played Yakuza and hasn't gotten super, super invested in mini games. So I guess it might have like mini games, or is it the real game?
I had people coming in my chat, and they would come from JP, and they would be like, "JP won't stop playing fucking mini games in Dragon Quest." So I came here, and you've only been playing mini games for 3 days. They had nowhere else to go. But yeah, mini games are life.
I was surprised. I was surprised at the fact that game is like a serious crime drama, and then it's also a bunch of bullshit mini games, and it manages to be both without it affecting either of them negatively. Like it's amazing. They did a really good job of that, and I guess they've been doing it for a long time, so they know how. But yeah, it seems like a lot of people are going in and finishing that. So you're gonna take on the rest of the series?
Yeah, I've been loving that. Definitely gonna take on the rest of the series. I
got that Fist of the North Star game
Spider-Man
too.
Yeah,
I saw that. Yeah, I saw Fist of the North Stars coming out, and hopefully it is as ridiculous as the cartoon. Hopefully that the voice acting is terrible and that people explode.
It's by the Yakuza guys, so yeah.
Yeah. It is by the Yakuza guys. You're right.
It's by the Yakuza guy, Adam.
Yakuza is the proper pronunciation.
Yakuza.
Just keep doing it. Just keep fucking
I have
doing
to bow after I say it as well.
In Canada, it's Yakuza.
Pronounced Yakuza, you fucks. Get it straight. Come on.
Should I take my pinky as recompense?
You should. And send it to me in the mail, along with your shame. You're banished from this gumi. Get out.
Oh, I'm a troll slayer now.
Yeah, it's fine.
A wonder and shame.
Yeah, it's okay. It's fine. You don't have to pronounce it karaoke either, so that's all right. Yeah, that's good.
Karaoke.
So, yeah, karaoke. Yeah, that's good. This is why you're the evil version of me, because of this conversation, Sam. You're doing it. Yeah, you're doing it right now. Yeah, thank you. Well, that's fine. I'm gonna look at Dodger. Dodger, save me from these assholes. How have you been? What's going on? It's nice to see you. Get the fuck out of here. The worst thing about you, Dodger, is that you're married to that asshole. So, besides that, how's things going?
Doste.
Nani?
Cool. So, welcome to Roleplay Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay, where we just shout things at each other in Japanese for 4 hours. Anybody got a favorite Godzilla monster whose name they want to yell? Because go for it. I'm sorry. This is rude.
It's pronounced
your turn to
Gojira.
It is. You're right.
Yeah. I you know, I'm good. I'm just doing my fucking thing. I'm about to take. I've just finished the most recent Rusty Lake game, but there are 10. They released it along with a movie, and there are 10 secret like movie tie-in puzzles that are inside of it. So now I'm like, all right, so we finished the game, but the deep dive now has to begin.
Wow.
I'm excited for that.
That's cool.
Have you played any of the Rusty Lake games?
No,
I have.
It sounds cool.
Okay,
Tell me about these things. What is the deal?
Dude, they're fucking weird. So, the Cube Escape games are the same world as Rusty Lake. They're all by the same people. And they're just like hyper bizarre point and clicks. The very first one that I played is called Rusty Lake Hotel. And the whole concept of it is that you're in a hotel with other like animals, like animals that, you know, wear suits and are proper and whatever. You're in a hotel filled with animals and you have to one by one complete puzzles in each animal's room to murder them and then feed them to all of the other animals. Like they're just really hyper bizarre games.
That
but
took
they're
a
awesome.
fucking turn. That took a hell of a turn.
They're like crazy, right? So this most recent one came out, and it's like 2 chapters, and it's a cube escape game instead of a Rusty Lake game. Somebody was saying that the difference typically is that the cube escape games are like room escape, like you're in one area the whole time. Whereas the Rusty Lake games, you like go different places. And yeah, so this one came out along with a 20-minute movie, and inside of the movie are like there are like numbers and shit like on the walls and things. We were watching it on stream and I was like, fuck.
This sounds like the kind of shit that Jesse Cox is into, like this like heavily
He
like
loves
deeply
these
hidden
games too.
clues. Yeah.
Yeah. We both got into these games at the same time and it's a nightmare. It's also fascinating because I'll play them and then I'll watch Jesse play them and be like, oh man, he like figured out shit that I couldn't really quickly. And there are things that he got stuck on that I didn't get stuck on at all. And it's fun watching people play any kind of a point and click, because especially like a puzzler one, because you go, oh, that's how my brain works differently from this other person's brain. I love it. So.
Yeah. I feel that. Cool. So now
yeah,
you have
everybody should play the Rusty Lake games. They're amazing.
So you have 19 more games to play? How long are these games? Are they like 10 hours?
A few hours. No,
they're like real short.
Each one is like maybe 4-ish, something like that. They're all pretty like compact, but they're all snapshots of different places surrounding this lake where like just bizarre shit happens.
The eponymous lake. I see.
The eponymous Rusty Lake, yes.
Yeah.
So
cool.
They're super
awesome.
cool. Yeah.
That's cool. It's nice to have a video game to play
weird.
that is
Get
good.
Yeah.
Cool. That sounds good. Nice.
Yeah.
You guys want to play a role-playing game? Should we play an RPG? Should we do that?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, please.
All right. Let's do that. So everybody's got we got characters made. We got all that stuff squared away. I have sent you a message on Roll20 giving you your own little like personal intro thing. It's a secret. Don't tell anybody. I mean, you can tell them later, but like this is your beginning thing. I'll set up the kind of initial scene, but my goal for this is that there are your characters, rather than introduce the characters beforehand and like say like you're all a party and you're on like an adventure or whatever. We're not gonna do that shit. We're gonna introduce your characters in a location, and you will have an opportunity to interact with each other. But treat this like treat it like a movie. Like your characters are the main characters in a film, and you're gonna find reasons for them to interact rather than me forcing it. And you'll be in this one location for the majority of the one shot. And so some of you might end up being friends. You might end up being enemies. You have your own reasons for being here, and we'll talk about kind of what those are, and we'll reveal them as we go.
What you've sent us is our short-term ambition, or
no? You can set. You're gonna get to set your own goal and your own ambition for being here. But this is like your reason for. It's your little hook, like the reason your character is here. Yeah.
Got it.
Yeah. So there's like a general. I'll give a general introduction. We'll talk a little bit about kind of what the situation is, and then I'll let everybody introduce their characters kind of in media res. Things are already kind of in the midst of happening. So when we begin, the house of the family von Torrens has stood on its mountain peak, overlooking the meager village below for as long as anyone can remember. An endless march of villagers have served the von Torrens, toiling in the shadow of their estate. Once in a generation, the doors to the von Torrens home are opened to celebrate the coming of age of its heir. On this night, you come to the ancient house to join the von Torrens family in celebration, one of many guests arriving by nervous horse-drawn carriage as the moon rises in the sky. Before the day is done, the Von Torrens heir will become a man. But the day is long yet, and you've all got your reasons for being here. So the one shot opens. We open an establishing shot of the Von Torrens estate. It is a massive and elder manor house up a long and dangerous winding road from a village sort of twinkling in the darkness below. The manor house clings to the stone like an old bat, gray and foreboding, falling apart in places. You can see lights dancing in the sooty windows as the valet, a gorilla of a man, opens the door to the carriage of yet another noble guest coming to visit the house. So you are here for the coming of age party of the young Von Torrens heir. Depending on whether you are kind of new to the area and have just arrived for this event, or whether you've been in the village for some time, you may know more or less kind of about the family, and we'll figure that out as we go. But I want somebody to volunteer. Who's the person that we see arriving? Someone who is just getting here now. Who is that? Who wants to be that person?
Sure, I will be.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So
Sam looks sad. No, you do it, Sam.
Yeah. It doesn't matter. Whoever wants to go first, it's okay with me.
Yeah,
Grimbunk,
sure.
please.
Okay. All right. So the dwarf Grimbunk Bronzebeard. You were the first to arrive. Now, are you arriving by carriage? Are you arriving by horse? Did you walk the
horse.
long? Yeah. You have a horse. Okay. So you ride up on a horse. And
I ride up on a horse, but I'm on the back of a horse. There is another man on the horse with me.
Okay.
Mm.
All right. What do you look like, and what does this other man look like?
I am wearing.
Help us envision the scene.
I am wearing satin noble's clothes that clearly do not suit my demean.
Right. Okay.
There's a an eye patch hidden under a feathered cap that shouldn't be there.
Mhm. Yeah.
And the man on the front of the horse, he looks, more like a brigand than anything else.
Mhm. Okay.
I give him a tap on the thigh.
Uh-huh.
And I lean in and I say, "Don't go too far, will ya? Shouldn't take long." And I vault off the horse.
He looks over his shoulder at you and he nods menacingly. So you step down from the horse, and do you need help? Do you like tumble from the back of the horse, or are you used to getting off of a very tall animal like this?
It's a hearty fall. Yeah, maybe someone
just bail out.
You see someone gasp. They're not sure what's going to happen, but he manages to steady himself. Okay. And straightens up and kind of waddles towards the entrance.
Okay. All right. Yeah. So we see this dwarf climb down from a horse and head inside, and the camera follows you. You are a guest here. You were either invited or somehow managed to finagle yourself an invite. So the valet nods to you, and you enter into the waiting room. Now, as the camera follows you through the doors into the parlor, there is a room inside whose walls are covered in ancient paintings of the noble Von Torrens family, going back a dozen generations. And in this room, we see a group of human nobles all standing around talking. Everyone is kind of like entering the party. One of the others of you is here in the parlor. You've been here for a little while. You've been here for several hours. Who is it, and what are you doing when we see you come in?
It's me. Yeah, you wouldn't notice me at first. A quick scan of the room would not see Mila, but you realize, just kind of lurking off in the shadows, a really, really tall woman who, for all intents and purposes, looks like they're cosplaying a vampire. It's just off in the corner, leaning against the wall, arms crossed. You might even think she's asleep. She doesn't seem to even be moving. has just been sitting up against the wall, just watching. Has long black hair, is wearing nice clothes, but all black, straps and zippers that don't need to be there. And she just, it's, in some ways she stands out, and in other ways, not at all. Seems to not really want to be part of anything, but is very focused on everything that's going on.
Yeah, and you stand out in the sense that like everyone here is wearing like decaying lace and like crushed velvet, and you're wearing like a black leather, and so you're in the same fashion department, but you're at opposite ends of it. And I think that like you're not engaging in conversation with anybody. We just see you kind of like
Not at all.
lurking at the back.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. So we see Grimbonk. You walk in, and the two of you like see each other across the room. Is there any response or action here?
I stare at
Do
him.
anything? Grimbonk, do you do anything? Do you even notice this strange woman?
Grimbonk knows exactly what kind of person this is. And he kind of just scoffs under his breath. And mutters to himself, "God, things are never easy, are they?" And just kind of
Yeah, right. Okay, so we stick. I think we stick with Grimbonk then. The camera stays with you, where you're just like, "Oh, it's gonna be harder than you thought."
Yeah, he reaches for a drink, but the lady doesn't see him and keeps walking with the tray. And,
right, like a servant just washed
as a head scratch.
The tray goes right over your head, and like the bottom of your the bottom of the tray is brushed by your like elegant feather coming up out of your cap. And the servant just goes right past you to some other guests. Okay, cool. Yeah. So yeah, do you head into the main manor?
Yeah. Head into the main manor, but everyone's taking his time. He's kind of like slowly maneuvering past groups of people, almost trying to eavesdrop in a little bit on their conversations. He's actually here looking for a name in particular of a specific person.
Right. So you're like,
he has no idea what they look like. So there's a little bit of subterfuge happening. He's just trying to like be as eavesdroppy as he can, just going from person to person, click to click.
All right. Yeah, so you it's hard because you're the only dwarf here, so you're getting a lot of looks, a lot of sidelong glances, some sort of disgusted eye rolls. Some people are titillated that such an oddity has arrived, right? They're like, "Ooh, I've never seen a dwarf before. How fascinating!" And they're having these kind of ribald, whispered conversations about you. But then others kind of roll their eyes and look the other way, like, "Ugh, grotesque!" Like how we've lowered ourselves by allowing this creature here. And I think we
he'll deliberately have his feather like hit someone.
Oh my!
A noble who he can see has given him some dirty looks. Oh,
yeah. Yeah, excellent. So yeah, there's some noble you pass by, and your feather brushes his face, and he recoils and gets his powdered wig sort of twisted sideways, and then him and his three servants have to like go aside to get it untwisted. And as you, Grimbonk, as you kind of pass through the room, kind of eyeballing everybody with your one good eye, you pass through the parlor and into a larger room. It is like a secondary parlor. It's bigger. There's like a bit of a mezzanine. This one has some statues, maybe a ancient suit of armor from some elder von Torrens. And in this room, one of the other two of you, Streak or Beatrix, we find you in conversation with another member of the party. Which of the two of you is it that we see next?
I kind of want to roll stealth if I need to roll stealth.
Yeah, you want to be like lurking? Okay.
Yeah, I kind of wanted to.
I mean, it's okay. Well, maybe both of you. We don't see either of you here, and we fade elsewhere. So where are you lurking? Where are you lurking in the manor?
I want to be in the main hall. But I don't want to be recognized just yet.
Sure. Yeah. Okay. So what do we? The camera lingers on you, and the soundtrack changes so that we know you're important. But what do we see you doing? Right. You're hidden among the people here. No one knows you for who you are. What do we see instead?
Well, do you want me to go or Pocket first?
Yeah. Yeah. Go ahead. Yeah. Go
ahead. All right. So I have a cloak covering myself because that's in my inventory apparently. I walk over to a nice clear area of the wall. I would like to take the cloak off. I'm in tattered rags. I am a beggar. I have dirt on my face. I set my nice crappy blanket down on the ground, take out my amazing bad-looking cup and clank it as if someone was going to make an announcement and clank their glass. And then I look up at all the guests and say, "Brass, brass, one brass, just a little brass. No brass? You with a necklace? Brass?"
So this beggar suddenly like unveiling himself and sitting down in the middle of the hall. A woman faints immediately, just scandalized into unconsciousness. Like she's like, "Oh my, a poor," and then falls down. The other nobles like look amongst themselves. Again, a few of them are like kind of wondering what, like, "Oh my, I've never been so close to one of them before." So there is some degree of, again, kind of like with the dwarf, like, "Ooh, there's a dwarf and a member of the lower classes here. How exciting!" And I think that we see Streak. We see maybe one of the kind of pompous looking like nobles start striding towards you. Like reaching for his rapier, like, never you mind, madam, I'll deal with this. And he's sort of striding towards you, ready to like throw you out.
Can I
know this
can
noble?
I be the one that interjects from nowhere and stops him from striking Streak?
Yeah, if you'd like to. Yeah, sure. So what do we see? And actually, Streak, what do you look like? So you're wearing like ratty clothes. Do you have like a long beard? Are you bald? Like what is?
Oh yeah, I got a beard.
How old are you?
Definitely got a beard, shaggy, crappy hair. I'm 25. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, I just look like a lanky, just hasn't eaten very much in a long time beggar.
Okay.
Yeah, I look like I'm probably like 50, but I'm 25.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. And are you as filthy as I imagine you are?
Yes, absolutely. There's definitely been horses around where I've been sitting on the
How
ground.
did you get in here?
Right. So okay. So this nobleman, this puffed up dude, he's striding towards you like he's gonna go and get satisfaction for you making his wife faint. But you, blood cake, Beatrix, you want to step out and say something?
Beatrix, yeah. You just sort of see like this. I guess it would be if I'm coming out of the shadows, you just see like this warping until you see a human form come into view with like a mask on, and again, just like Mila, all black leather, and has some weapons, and I pull out one of my daggers, and I look at Streak, and then I look at the noble, and I just quietly say, "He's not worth your time." And I grab Streak and I say, "I think we should leave."
So I say, maybe worth a brass of his time.
He's just on his way over to pay you. So let's see if you can intimidate this guy. Beatrix, do you have any skill at intimidating?
Maybe.
Well, I see. I mean, you have the intimidation skill. You want to roll it?
How do I? I just press it, right?
Just click the number in the skill. You got a 48.
Click on the bold number at the end.
You're like a 50-50
no modifier, right?
this. I'll give you a 10. I'll give you a 10 modifier. It's a little easier than usual because you're kind of scary.
Did I do it?
I don't know. Did you click the thing?
I clicked it and put 10.
Uh-huh. And that was
again.
it. You just give it another go.
Yeah, I'll try it again. Yeah, it's not going.
It's working for me.
Like Sam just does it to show off. Look, I can do it. It might be.
I didn't see Sam's roll. Maybe I need to refresh.
Maybe
I can
see you're lagging.
Okay, yeah, I can't even see Sam's. So
it's a good thing Sam wasn't trying it because he would have critically failed. But yeah, That's
Okay, I'll
fine.
try now. Modifier 10, intimidate. Okay.
Give it another
Please
go.
work.
And if
Did it
here it
go?
is. Okay, yeah,
Okay.
you got it. Okay,
Okay.
so you got a success. You got a success on the roll, which means you rolled less than the total you needed, and you got an SL of +2. SL is like success level. It's how good you do. You want that number to be
Okay.
big. In this case, you step in the way, brandishing a dagger, and the noble he puts his hand up, like suddenly met with. He was expecting to just like give this poor man a drubbing and kick him out and be the hero of the upper classes, but you've stepped in the way. There's some difficulty here, so he stops and he puts his hands up, his delicate perfumed hands, and he says, there's no need to get upset. I wanted to have a conversation with the filthy man."
I don't even say anything.
Yeah, he just backs.
Yeah.
He backs slowly away.
She's
Like,
whipped a dagger
"My
out
lady."
of the party, right?
Yeah, she's holding a knife.
So that you could say that there would be some gasps among the nobles, some commotion.
So let's have.
To be
I
fair,
mean,
she didn't
Grimbonk,
whip that weapon, so-
Grimbonk and Mila both. Well, he didn't draw a weapon. He just like he
Oh.
took some strides towards you, like I'm gonna do something about this. But
I
let's
thought he had
have
a
both
well.
Grimbonk and Mila. You're
You
both.
could argue
keeping
that
kind
this
of
has
a-
drawn the attention of the room.
Well, we'll see. Let's have both of you make a perception test, and I will see what you learn.
So,
about
do we put in our advance number?
All you have to do
It's
is just
already in.
click.
Yeah.
Yeah, and in this case, because I think you mentioned being like on it. I don't think it's particularly challenging to read the whole room. You're not trying to get a specific person. So for modifiers, give yourselves both a 20. Okay, so Grimbonk, what's distracting you that you don't notice this exchange?
I'm too short. Promotion
Right.
has attracted a crowd of nobles, and they're like shoulder to
You were
shoulder.
staring directly into someone's ass, so you can't see.
Yeah, and if these were
anything.
fellas, I could look through their legs, but they're like wearing
Yeah.
these huge,
There's-
poofy, frilly
there's a big
empire dresses.
Right, there's
I'm
a
just
big bustle all up in your business, and you can't see.
Grimbonk,
However-
he tries to move the lady's dress out of the way, and she turns around, she's like, "Pervert!" and slaps him.
Right? Yeah, right. The dwarf touched me. So while all that's going on, however, Mila, who is tall like the mighty oak, you can see this going on, and the read of the room that you get when the knife comes out isn't like, "Oh God, she's got a knife, everybody run." It's, "Ooh, I wonder what's gonna happen next. Like, is someone gonna get cut? Ooh, that's exciting." So like everybody kind of
Wow,
took
the
a
bourgeoisie.
everyone kind of took a step in, like, "Ooh, first a pour and then also knives. How exciting!" With no regard to their own safety, they all kind of like, stepped in to see what was gonna go on. But then it didn't happen. So we cut back to you, Beatrix. So you turn to Streak, who has attracted this trouble, and you're gonna try to get him out of here, or
Yeah, I think I'm if he allows, I'm gonna grab him and start escorting him towards the door.
I'll allow it.
what do you think, Streak?
I want to grab my
Okay.
blanket and my cloak, make sure I'm not leaving anything.
Right. Yeah, all your hobo stuff. So yeah, this
kit.
tough looking woman just like grabs you and yanks you to your feet.
Oh yeah. I very quickly grab my stuff as I'm getting pulled away. One last hopeful look at the crowd with the cup.
I like to slap the cup, like not slap it, but I like pull it down, and I'm like, no, time.
I want to give you a chance. I want to give you a chance here, Streak. I want to see your begging in action. It's like literally your main.
It
your
is
main
my
thing.
skill here.
It's this is what you do. You are a beggar. Okay.
Oh.
All right. Yeah, let's
You wanna
have
see me-
you.
you wanna
let's
see
have
me in
you
action?
beg. Yeah. It'll
I
be
bring the
a
cup back
charm.
up after she puts my hand down, and somehow I managed to flip it around my fingers like a coin. Whoosh, 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 whoosh.
He's slippery.
Clever trick.
This-
Clever trick. Brass.
Right. So you're holding the cup up to everybody. So make that roll. Make that charm roll.
All right. What is it? /R.
You can just click on the character sheet.
I
So
can?
find the charm skill
Charm.
and then the little box number on the far right.
41. Okay.
Yeah.
No modifier.
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
Nice. SL4. Okay.
Suitably impressive for a dirty man.
As you walk by, one of the scandalized ladies, who was like excited about the knife coming out, she takes a gold coin out of her bodice and looks around like, is this enough? How does this work? And she like reaches out and puts it in your cup and is like, ugh, stay away from me. But like, here, take this and get away from me.
Mm-hmm. I look at Blood Cake and go, I think that's how it's done.
You just see my pale eyes. I just roll them behind my mask. Like,
yeah. And then when you leave, she turns to like her a lady in waiting or something, and is like, "Did you see? Oh, he almost touched me." And they're like whispering.
She's loving the thrill and danger of it, isn't she?
That's right. Yeah. So the two of you are heading for the door. And when you pass through the parlor, you pass through the secondary smaller parlor, out onto the foyer, and then there's the door, but the door is being shut by the man that you saw at the front. This enormous, broad-shouldered. He's bald, and he's wearing a suit, like a footman's suit, but it's much too small for him. Like it only comes down to like the middle of his forearms. You can see all his like ankle hair sticking out, and he's jammed his feet into these little heeled, silver buckled like shoes, and he's closing the front door as you're trying to walk out.
I want to.
Is he like
follow
closing
them
it
out?
with like the
Okay.
intentions of not opening it?
I mean, I don't know, but it seems like everyone's here, and he's shutting the door.
Are there stairs near us that go up to like the second floor?
There were stairs in the primary parlor, yes, that led up to the first floor. This is like there's like 3 or 4 stories to this place, plus turrets and towers and what have you. So yeah, you see him. You see him, his big hairy hands. You see him close the door, and he takes out a key and he locks the front door, and then spins the key ring around. And
while he's turning around, I go into stealth.
You want to try to hide?
Yeah, is there anything to hide behind?
Yeah, sure. There's like some statuary around. There's like a stuffed I don't know, bear or something you can just hide behind.
It's too late. I'm already shaking my cup at him.
Yeah, right. Like I think this is the thing. Like if you like Streak is just going to be out in the open, but you can certainly hide. Yeah, make a roll there.
My stealth is so bad. Is there a modifier?
Yeah, give yourself like a plus 20 because give yourself a plus 20 because give yourself a 20 because Streak is making such a big noise. Well, you barely managed to like slip out of his line of sight, and he turns
like
around and he sees you.
Turning around, you just see me like vanish instantly. I'm just like, oh god.
Cloak up. Yeah. So Mila, you can walk into the scene. You're aware of what's happening here. You can walk in whenever you want. But the footman, he turns and he sees you with your cup, and
it's
and he looks
now.
down. He looks down at you and he says, "Where do you think you're going?"
And I say, "Brass, one picras, give a brass. No sass."
I walk in at this point and literally don't even acknowledge the doorman. I just walk right towards Streak and grab his mouth like this and just look right into his eyes. And I just stare at him for like a full 5 seconds before letting go and walking away.
Mm-hmm. I have to redistribute the grime on my face because of you.
You're right. You just wiped off a bunch of it. So does this have an effect on you, Streak? This being manhandled by this leather-clad woman?
I definitely look and say, well, what was that all about?
As she walks away.
All right, and I follow.
So there's a knowing like a grin and a nod from the footman when she does that, and he grins at you like yeah. Like you have some shared secret that he thinks, but you don't know what the hell he's grinning and nodding about. He's just kind of like, And he's got like a big gold tooth and like he just grins. He like.
I take the gold coin and put it in his pocket like a tip.
Okay, easy come, easy go. So yeah, you just and he looks down and he shakes his head like he doesn't know what the hell's going on with you. And then do you follow Mila?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, all right, sure. So you dash off after her. So while that's happening, Grimbonk, what's going on with you? There was some kind of kerfuffle that you missed out on. You didn't get to see what it was, but where are you now? Have you started talking to people?
We cut to Grimbonk. He's kind of like he like rearranges his jaw a little bit. He pulls out a small little folded piece of paper and he starts writing down. There's going in the book, and as you see at the front in Khalid, it reads "Little Book of Grudges."
Yeah, it's a small one, just like a travel one.
A little travel one, and he kind of like pulls it up and he puts it in his pocket.
Okay.
And
So what's great about this scene is that I don't think Grimbonk can write.
No.
So it's just scribbled.
No, so what it is it's like a stick figure of the woman in the dress with like a little wig.
A stick figure of a woman with like a huge
he's drawn
butt.
her. Yeah, and he's kind of it's like a 6-year-old's drawing, and he's kind of like folds it back up.
So you have a whole book of stick drawings of people that the grudges. Okay, excellent. All right.
And he looks up her and he's like, "You're lucky I wouldn't stalk you." And then kind of finally manages to push his way through the crowd, but it seems like the commotion is gone. And he knows the person he's looking for, isn't particular for a place like this, and neither's he. So
yeah.
Is there any way I can ascertain as to what direction they might have gone? Are people still kind of talking and pointing in the direction they went?
Yeah. How do you do that? Is it like you're gonna try to eavesdrop and pick up on information to figure out?
Yeah. So he just kind of tries to take in the nobles gossiping about what transpired.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. Yeah. Make a gossip roll. They're pretty gossipy. Give yourself a 20. Give yourself an extra 20. Okay. You're not very good at gossip to begin with. Yeah, so they you hear someone talking about like, "Oh, that strange woman. Yes, I saw her earlier." And they like you do hear like went that way, and you're like, "Oh, strange woman went that direction." You do get a pretty good direction on it. You think you know exactly where to go.
He kind of reaches up to a noble. "You there? Down here. Excuse me."
Okay, yeah. So one of the noblemen, he turns and at eye level, he's like, "What?"
Does he come down to my level?
For you? Yeah, and if you like clear your throat, he looks down at you. And he says, "Oh my, yes."
Down here. Come here.
And he looks around and then kind of like curtsies himself down. You can hear his girdle like straining against the effort. He like crouches slightly. "Yes, what is it?"
I take his drink from his hand and I turn and walk in the direction of the commotion.
Yeah. Okay. So we just hear him be like, "That tiny man took my drink."
And under my breath, and you just hear Grimbonk say, "Finally."
Just like power it down. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. So you head out. Okay, cool. So Mila, where did you go? Like, because if Streak follows you, where does he find you? Like, did you want to get his attention, or do you just like save him from the footman and then walk off?
Oh, I was just trying to ascertain information, but I just walk back into the room once I realized that he's actually just a beggar.
Yeah, I mean, as far as you can tell.
As far as I can tell,
you did
from my intense look.
Yeah, you did. I mean, you did see him get given a gold crown and then give it away right away, which no beggar would ever do.
I didn't see him give it
That's true.
away.
You had left. Yeah. Okay. Excellent. Okay. All right. So
I
right
just looked
now,
deep into his eyes and saw idiocy, and then walked away.
I thought she wanted something, so I'm following her. Like
this man is an idiot. Yeah, okay. All right. So, so I think that we hear the sound of bells, not like loud church bells, but like the sort of tinkling of like servants' bells, and it seems like the flow of traffic is pulling in towards that secondary parlor. People are being kind of called in like by the hosts. Grimbunk, do you want to try to like push free of the crowd and follow where you think that this person went, or do you want to wait here to see if she comes back?
I'm gonna push on.
Yeah. Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Sure. So you
Yeah,
kind of
got-
get to the edge of
got
the room. We
Alcohol
follow
in the bin,
you.
and it kind of.
Yeah, we follow you down at like codpiece level, and like push through the group of nobles, and you get to the edge of the room, as the footman returns and like blocks the door you were gonna go through, because the group is being addressed by the lord and lady of the house. So when we follow you and then we pull out and pan back and we can see that the crowd is gathered, everyone in the place, and there's lots of people here, nobles from areas all around. You can see some like merchants and members of the town's like government, like the mayor and his wife. So everybody has come, and up on there's a little like address platform. We can see the family of the hour. There's a man, maybe in his he's like in his 60s, and a woman of indeterminate mid-30s age. The two of them are dressed in fine but somewhat degraded outfits. So they have like the man's wearing a beautiful like a brocade velvet jacket, but the elbows are all worn through, and the sort of cuffs are filthy. He has a powdered wig on, and he's made up to cover the creases of age. And he's standing next to his wife, the lady of the house, and she is similarly fancily attired. She's got one of those kind of big, poofy dresses, lots of silver and onyx jewelry. And then between them is the young master, a boy of maybe 12 or 13, and he is wearing little like short pants and brightly polished black leather shoes. He looks like a miniature version of like a doll version of his father. And he's also made up. He has like white makeup on, and then like rouge to make his cheeks look nice. He's not wearing a wig though. He has his own hair. And he's standing looking kind of nervous and impatient and like fiddling with a ring on his finger. And the three of them are standing, and the crowd is gathered. And I think we kind of cut back into the scene, and there's some light applause as the lady of the house has said something, and she smiles, and she says to the group, to the assembled guests, she says, "Assembled guests, welcome, the house of Von Torrens. We have been lord and lady of this village for several generations, and each and every one of you, we are very pleased to have you here in our home." And there's some more like polite applause, like, "Yes, we're happy to be here too." And she says, "Whether you live in the village," and she gestures, and we see a kind of like a man who is normally like, if he were standing up, he'd be quite tall, but he's hunched over in the way that really tall people sometimes do, so that they don't seem so tall. Hunched over, he's dressed in not finery, but like a scholar's like garb. And we see him, and he kind of like puts his hand up, like, "Please don't acknowledge me." He's very like uncomfortable with the attention. Or you have joined us from far away, and we pan over and we see there is a husband and wife who are they're obviously like, they're not from here because they don't have that kind of like pale look that everyone around here does. They have kind of like rosy cheeks. The husband has like reddish hair. They're dressed in like colors. Like one of them has like some red and some yellow in her outfit. So we see the two of them. They're obviously foreign merchants, and then they're like bodyguard, which is this huge kind of blonde statue of a man. And they too, like the wife of the two of them, kind of like bows her head in acknowledgement. And she says, "This is a special occasion for our family and for the village, and we are glad to have you here." And she turns to her right, and we see a priest. We see a priest of Sigmar. He is dressed in a black robe, and every one of his fingers has a fat gold ring on it. He has a big gold chain around his neck with like a ruby and gold, like burning comet symbol. When we see that, we cut over to Beatrix. What is your response to watching all of these like nobles like gathering? Do we see the look on your face?
It'd have to be like one of those things where she's kind of in a corner away from everybody. Because all the nobles, they want to be close and get attention, and she's like in the back, in the shadows. And I think you just like see like this like gleam over her eyes, and she's just fixated on the priest of Sigmar. Almost like she's studying him.
Yeah. Okay,
So
so we see
you wouldn't
you.
see a
Yeah, like.
smile or anything, but if you could, you'd see it in her eyes. So
Yeah. And again, like the sort of the soundtrack and the shot establishes that you're focused on this guy, and we hear a voice beside you whisper, "What strange creatures these humans?" You turn to look.
I think I would just like slowly turn and just
Okay.
who do I see?
You see a figure, tall and thin, with long silver hair, wearing like a blue kind of half cape, and then like blue like silk robes, and they have a like an opal pinned at their throat, and then long pointed ears, and they're just looking out over the crowd, kind of standing next to you.
I don't
You
say
turn and
anything.
you
I
see
just turn
this.
back to the priest.
Okay, yeah, and you turn back, and then we cut back to the priest. The priest is basically like giving out blessings. The priest is we cut back mid speech, and he is saying like a blessing upon the nobles and how glorious they are for caring for the weak and for the poor, and he's he's going on at some length when we cut back to him, and he finishes. And the lady of the house thanks him for his blessings, and everybody again like kind of claps because it was a sermon about how great they are. And the lady of the house smiles a sort of wan smile, and says, "On this night, we all look back to what Carl Theodore," and she looks at her son, and Carl Theodore like shuffles uncomfortably in his slightly too tight outfit. She says, "What young Carl Theodore leaves behind, childhood. Each and every one of us was at one time a child, as our boy is today. And in celebration of that childhood, we begin tonight with a game." And everybody like titters at each other, like, "Ooh, a game! Ooh, exciting! A game! I love games." And she says, "Our home is large and with many empty rooms. The young master is going to hide, and one of you will find him." And then there's a lot of like giggling and like, "Oh my." And so she says, "Now everyone, close your eyes." And the nobles kind of like awkwardly look at each other, and then they like close their eyes. What do you do?
I don't close my eyes.
I don't close my eyes. No way.
Okay, Streak. What about you?
I'm eating my sandwich.
Right, you brought your lunch. Okay, so we
Actually,
just see
I
you.
wanna
It's
say
like,
that, like, this guy next to me, I wanna step backwards,
okay,
kinda like
so you
back step.
turn. So Beatrix, you turn to look at him, and he's gone.
Oh shit.
Grimbonk knows that the person he's looking for isn't the kind of person that's going to play hide and seek. And so as everyone closes their eyes, he takes this opportunity to scan the hall for people that aren't closing their eyes.
I was gonna say if this person was next to me, I want to like backstep behind them, but if they're not there, I want to try and stealth again in the corner.
They're gone. Okay, so you want to try to hide.
Yeah.
So Grimbonk, you look, and this is such a great shot because it's all of these humans, these human nobles, like covering their eyes and kind of giggling and like, you know, excited to play this game. But the PCs are all called out because you're all just kind of
such a weird dynamic.
Open.
It's basically like nobles that are frozen still with their hands shut all around him, and he's kind of just slowly with his hands behind his back. He's just walking between them,
looking around,
kind of like looking around.
Okay. So let's have you do like an opposed test. So Bloodcake roll your stealth, and Grimbonk roll your perception.
No modifier, right?
No modifier, and this is whoever has the highest SL.
Do I get a modifier for the fact that no one else in this room is moving?
There's a lot of other people, and we've established that you're at like crotch height, so I think it probably evens out.
I don't know. I failed pretty hard there.
Just do better than -6, and you'll be okay.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay, excellent.
Oh my god, -6.
You're both miserable failures, but you're a less miserable failure than. So you see this woman. You see the beggar Streak eating his sandwich. You see.
Can we say that I go into stealth, but like he sees me go into stealth?
Yeah, we can see you see her sort of slip into the shadows. You also see Mila. You see the tall, attractive, very strong, leather-clad woman. And then you see.
I forgot. I am quite attractive, aren't I?
Yeah, you have to bring it up every time anyone looks at you. You have to remind us your character is attractive. You rolled the trait. You have to use it. Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
I'd like to point out that my sandwich is diagonal cut and it looks pretty good.
Nice, good.
It also is quite attractive.
It has the attractive trait. Yeah. And feel free to say things like, "I look at you hotly," "I draw my sword attractively," those kinds of things.
Got it in slow motion. Everyone knows how great I smell.
Hair flip while you swing.
Yeah, you notice these people. You would be in a shampoo commercial, except that bathing is not really very popular. And then you see someone, kind of like she's trying to make it look like she doesn't want to be seen.
Okay. And under his breath, he mutters, "Found you, Umgi." And he starts making his way towards where he saw the woman kind of like shrink backwards.
Yeah. So the priest begins counting down from 100, and the young lord and his the young master and his mother and father scamper away to hide him. And Grimbonk, you push your way through the crowd. Beatrix, are you going to leave the room?
Yeah, I'd say I'm gonna try and leave the room. And try to go to one of the empty rooms.
Okay. Yeah. So you wanna slip away to an empty room? Okay. All
Yeah.
Right. So Grimbonk, you follow her out.
I find them very suspicious, but I am staring at the family. I want to. Yeah, they are secondary. I'm paying attention to what's going on up there for sure.
Okay. I mean, the family is leaving. Do you want to follow them?
Like
They're gonna go
everyone
hide
who
the
is up
kid.
there is all leaving together.
The priest is counting for everybody. And then mom and dad and the kid are slipping out.
Okay. I'll watch them leave and take note of where they left.
Okay.
Like which direction they left through.
Streak.
Do you mean she'll watch attractively?
Yeah, with your hot eyes.
Right, my hot eyes will stare at them as they leave.
You gaze attractively at them. Streak, what are you doing?
There's a little bit of my sandwich left. I don't really want it, so I put it on the bodice of the woman next to me, kind of like a tray, and walk away. I go look.
I love the idea that Streak just half finishes a sandwich and just places it on the vertical shelf of a noblewoman's boobs. Like you're just like, sloop.
He
Okay, bye.
instantly collapses in horror.
I think. I
Look
mean, she's
for,
got her eyes closed, and she's like, something is touching me, but she doesn't open her eyes to see. So you just like discard it in the garbage can of nobility. And where are you going? What are you doing?
I'm going to Von Torrance's study where he does his business.
Yeah, nice. Okay, so you slip out of the way. Yeah, it's a good thing that that Mila didn't see you with that sandwich because it's a kind of witch and they're forbidden. So Streak,
True.
you you head off to the study, and yeah, you know where the study is. You can get there, no problem.
Yeah.
Okay, so you slip off. Mila, you make note of where they go. And let's stay with Streak. So you leave the room and you head down the hall to Lord Von Torrens, the Graf's study. And yeah, you arrive at the door. It is currently shut.
I try it to see if it's locked.
Okay, yeah, it is.
It is indeed locked.
Yeah. So you try the handle and it clicks.
There's no real lock picking skill, is there? I don't really have any lock. I have a dagger. I try to break the lock with the dagger.
Yes, yeah, you could just try to jam the dagger in there and wiggle it around and see if you can break it.
I don't need finesse here.
Yeah, okay, sure. Let's just make it a strength roll. Just make it a strength roll. You've got a tool. Give yourself plus 30.
Okay. I type /R for this one, or is there a button?
You can click. So you should be
I
able
see it's
on
the
your
S, right?
Yeah, on your sheet, just click the S. Yeah.
Plus 30?
Yeah, and then 30. Nice. Yeah, SL3, no problem. So it'll be obvious that someone broke the lock. The lock will not be able to be fixed easily. But yeah, you just jam your knife in there. I mean, what does it look like? Do you try finesse first, or do you just like fuck you?
Nah, I'm pretty blasé about all this.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So
right.
I got the door open.
Quick look around, and then you just this is the equivalent of like breaking the car window. So you just stab the dagger in there and break the lock open, and the door swings in.
Then I start searching through any desks and drawers for financial information and personal information.
Okay. So you slip into the study, and we see that there are bookshelves like on the wall, and there is a desk. There's a big wooden desk with a candlestick on it with several candles. There's a closed book on the desk, bound in purple leather. There's a big overstuffed chair, and then there's another door that like leads out. Every room in here has like 2 or 3 doors leading to 2 or 3 more rooms throughout the house. But yeah, so you come into the Von Torrens study. Where do you start your search?
Oh, definitely his desk. Absolutely.
Okay. Yeah. So you walk over to his desk, and pull open the bottom drawer. Yeah, it's full of papers. Can you read?
Yes, I can indeed read.
Okay, good. I just had to check.
Yeah.
Okay.
Definitely.
All right.
I'm looking for mostly I'm looking for any compromising information.
Okay. So are you trying to
Naughty
do this
things.
Are you trying to do this quickly, or are you trying to do this like quietly? And like delicate, like, because you basically have to be like quick in case somebody catches you, intently to like do it right, so you're not rushing it. You're just digging through papers, so you're not making a ton of noise.
Would this be a room that I pass by?
It might. Let's get Streak to roll, and then we'll see. Because if he fails, yeah, somebody might come by.
Okay. I'm definitely taking my time here because I figure everyone's playing the game. Everyone's being shepherded around by guards, so.
Yeah. Okay. Well, let's have you roll a perception roll as you dig through them.
All right. Where is perception?
It's a skill.
Oh, is it under skill? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, there it is. All right. No modifier.
Oh no. So a fumbling failure is a critical fail. And so what I think happens is you open the drawer, you stick your hand in, and there is a snap
Oh, good
as
God.
a mouse trap slams shut on your fingers. You yank your hand out. Can you make a cool roll? Make a cool roll at a penalty. Make it at a penalty of like put minus 10.
Minus 10.
Yeah, cool roll at minus 10. Okay,
Oh my
so another
God.
critical fail. Fantastic.
Good God.
You let out a loud sound of pain and surprise. What does that sound like? Like, do you scream suddenly? Do you like what is that like?
I mostly go.
Right, so you let out this shriek of pain, and that's what you hear as you walk by Beatrix. You hear someone in a room. You look up ahead as you're walking down the hall. You see a door open, and there's a yelp of pain from in that room.
I want to enter the room, hopefully still in stealth, and
Yes,
walk up behind
stealthily.
him where he
Okay,
can't. where he-
Grimbonk, you see the woman moving towards. Certainly, she's on her way to meet with her co-conspirators because she's on her way to this like empty room, and you hear a noise. It might be like it's like someone inside is trying to make like an animal noise, like maybe like a secret sign, like when you hear the sound of the badger, like that's where you'll find me. But you hear this noise, and you see her, and she's making a beeline for this partly open door. Do you want to interrupt her, or do you want to eavesdrop?
No, I'm going to eavesdrop.
Okay, all right. So Beatrix, you we'll cut back to you. You can bust in the room. Grimbonk, assume that you can hear whatever is going on here.
Okay.
Beatrix, what do? Do you just storm in?
I would say I walk in. I walk in very like slow and calm, and I you can tell that there's a smile on my face through my eyes, and I look at him for a moment, and finally I walk up and I just say, "You need help?" And I like look down.
This intimidating woman just like comes into the room.
Well, I'm still trying to get this trap off my hand.
Yeah, you see a man whose hand is caught in a mouse trap. There's tears welling up in his eyes.
I missed a lot, I see.
Oh yeah, yeah.
And I noticed that the drawer's open, I think, still, and that it's obvious that he was looking for something. And so I'm going to look at him and say, "Tell me what you were looking for, and I'll get you out of that."
I compose myself and I say, "Oh, good, the one who tried to hide. You must be a shady thief of some kind. Please help me find any compromising information on Von Torrens, and I'll make sure that you're paid very well."
I look at him and I go, "You can read?"
Yes, I can read.
I look him up and down. You're not lying about that?
He doesn't sound like a beggar anymore.
Yeah. It's really like, I think.
Also a lot less wobbly.
Yeah.
I just nod my head afterwards, and I'm going to attempt to get the mousetrap off of him.
Okay. Yeah, I think with the two of you, you don't have to like roll or anything. You can take that off.
Like, this
okay.
might go really bad.
Okay. Yeah. So she helps like take the trap off of your hand, which is like a little bruised.
As she's taking it off, I go, "Ow."
And I like yank it a little bit more to see if he says "ow" again.
I definitely give a look.
Grimbonk,
Okay,
something
well,
weird is going on in there.
So,
Okay.
And so can I look through? Can I get into the drawers and try to detect if there's any more traps?
Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can make a perception. If you kind of like push him aside, like, let me take a look at this.
Yeah.
Okay.
It'd be
yeah, go ahead.
perception. Oh God. Okay.
Yep.
Do I get any modifiers?
It's just like a plain desk. Yeah, give yourself 20.
God, you gotta be kidding.
What is this? A magic desk of fucking...
It's a terrible
This
roll.
desk
The
is
desk is so you can't tell. There could be like a poison needle hidden in there somewhere, or it's not safe. if there's one trap, there could be more.
I say,
look
what are you
and I
worried
say,
about? The last trap was a mouse trap. Probably some cat urine will spray on us or something. Open the drawer.
And I'm like, I just step away and I'm like, go ahead.
And I say, fine, and do it.
Okay. Yeah. I mean, you dig through the drawer of the desk, and yeah, there are papers. They're mostly letters waiting to be responded to. They're like RSVPs from guests, and they're addressed from kind of all over the area, from the village, from far away, mostly correspondence.
So he doesn't keep any letters from mistresses in this desk, then.
I mean, if you want to take like a minute to like look through it and like actually check each one for salacious content.
I do want to, yes.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So, Beatrix, he the with a careful eye, the beggar starts flipping through these letters, looking for evidence.
As he's doing that, I want to look around at like the items, the possessions in the room.
Okay, sure. So you take a walk around the room.
Yeah, and I'd like to
Okay, yeah.
is there anything that seems like not like gold and stuff, but anything that seems very valuable beyond that?
There's a sidebar with like a crystal decanter with some kind of like liquor in it, and like some glasses that might be worth something. There's the big expensive looking stuffed chair. The
Anything
walls,
magical appearing?
the book. I mean, you can't tell at a glance. The bookshelves are fake. They're not real. They're just like an inch or so of wood carving on all the walls to make it look like they're books. Yeah, it doesn't look like there's anything. Doesn't look like there's anything expensive sitting around in here, aside from the like goblets.
So if this bookshelf is fake, is there going to be like a trigger on it?
So you want to look and see if there's like a doorway into a secret room?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Sure. How long do you want to take doing this? Like, is this a quick search, or do you check like every book?
I want to try. If he's sitting there like reading papers, I can't help him. So I think like as long as he's doing that, I'm going to be searching this bookshelf.
Okay. All right. Let's have you make another perception roll. And if you're taking the time, give yourself 30. You're so bad.
What is up
So
with this?
now is a great time. Now is a great time to remind you that if you want to, you can spend fortune to re-roll a failed test.
Yeah.
You have, I think, a few points of that. So if you'd like, you won't get any more the rest of the session. But if you'd like to use one, to escape this cursed room.
Okay. Okay, that's what the fortune's for?
Yeah.
I'll try to re-roll it. I really want to find something.
Okay.
Oh.
There you go, SL5.
Go.
All right. So, I think maybe on your first look through, you can't. There's nothing. You're just like, no, this is none of these. This is frustrating. There's nothing going on. And then the second time, you're like, let's go back. And you go back and you look, and you can't read, right? Matrix, you can't. You don't have. Okay.
No, I can't read.
So you find a one of the books, the like carved books is like a little loose, and you push on it, and under your hand when you give it a little shove, we see the title of the book is like The Secret Corridor, but you can't read, so you didn't know that, and so you just push on it. Yeah, you push on it, and there's a click. Streak, you look up. There's a sound, and Grimbonk, you hear inside like a click, and Streak, you look up, and there's a panel, door-shaped panel, slides in slightly.
I turn around and look at Streak.
And I say, that's much more interesting than this unnecessary literary pageantry that I've been looking through.
And what? What did you just say?
Probably some interesting things in there. Beyond desks. Yes.
Then I go to enter.
Yeah. Okay.
Outside the room, you see a close up of a pair of like merchant's gloves being removed, and you see some dwarven symbols on the knuckles, which reads Gal Moraz in dwarven, but he's only got 4 knuckles on each hand, so that Raz is just got an A and a Z crammed onto the last number.
Awesome.
It looks pretty menacing, and you see this hand rip this away, and a noble shirt comes flying off, and there's a sleeveless leather jerking, and there's a tattoo on his left arm that says "Mother" in Khalid, and you see he's got an eye patch, and he's bald, and he's kind of like fiddling with his club, and he's getting ready to go in the room.
Right. Someone is gonna come across this pile of clothes and be like, "Those are the dwarf's clothes. Oh my, the dwarf's naked." So you're getting ready to go in. You're getting geared up. You're fired up. We see Beatrix and Streak go into the dark corridor, and we cut away to Mila. So Mila, the priest has finished counting down, and reaches 0 and claps his hands. Everybody takes their hands away. They do that thing, that over dramatized like blinking in the light thing. They all kind of like look at each other like, "Ooh, the hunt is on," and everyone starts to scatter to go looking for the young heir. What are you gonna do?
Okay. I want to just kind of like use this opportunity where people are able to kind of go wherever they want. I want to sort of like briskly walk around the like first floor, I guess,
Okay.
of this
And
building.
what are you looking for?
I'm trying to get into like a basement if possible, or like get like yeah.
Yeah. So you're looking for a way down into like the cellar.
Yeah, something along those lines.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So you head onto the hallway, and you fit right in, right? Like, because everybody else is like we walk by, and there's nobles, and they're like, you see someone. We walk by a room, and there's a bunch of them searching the room. It looks like an Easter egg hunt, right? All these fancied up
Right.
like powdered nobles, and one of them is like opening a tiny little desk drawer and like looking in it, like he might be in there, and you just stroll past. And
Every now and then
yeah,
I
you
like
go.
bump into a person and literally don't acknowledge that it happened. Just keep walking.
It's like Terminatoring your way down there. Okay.
Yeah,
All
literally.
right. So, I think that you would have to find your way. There's like a servants area. You'd have to go through the kitchen to get down to the cellar. And so you walk into the servants' quarters, the like upper kitchen. And there's a bunch of servants, and they're cutting up a big like chunk of, we can see like ribs, a big chunk of meat, and we see them slide it into a pot, and the pot is like bubbling, and they don't skip a beat, right? You're a guest, you shouldn't be here, but it's not their job to tell you that you shouldn't be here. And you stride through, and yeah, there is there would be a shelf, an area with shelves, and on the floor there'd be a trapdoor that would lead down into the basement.
I'll just go through it.
Okay, all right. So you crouch down to open the trapdoor, and you hear a voice behind you. Looking for something? And you turn, I
turn.
assume, and look
Yeah.
up. Yeah. So you look up, and backlit, standing in the shadow, you see the features of an elvish face. You see long pointed ears, a blue half cape, an opal glittering in the light, and you look up, and this elf is looking down at you.
I do believe that is the point of all of this. To be looking, is it not? To be
Yes.
observing our surroundings, trying to find the young master, are we not?
That's
To
what
be
you want
gazing
me
about,
to belie-
to find a young man throughout this house, if you could even call it such, are we not?
The elf looks at you like,
I open the
am
door
I-
and start typing.
Yeah. Okay. So you yank the door open and you start climbing down, and we see a look on the elf's face, and their long fingers come up, and they're like, fascinating, and then they like fade backwards into the shadows.
What
Okay.
is this?
Yeah. So
Spider-Man?
you climb down into the cellar, and yeah, down below. I think this would be where they would keep
like the wine they need access to right now. There's another like section for like wine, but this is the like we need this today for the party. So you climb down. There's a lantern hanging on a hook, and
just a
yeah,
sec,
it's like
oh
a
my
lot. Yeah, it's okay. And yeah, I think we see her climb down, and it fades over to I guess the two of you, Beatrix and Streak, and you are walking down a stone and wooden corridor, and it's dark. It's dark back here, which is no problem for you, Beatrix. But Streak,
Yeah.
you see Beatrix just like walking forward. That's okay. That's okay. We'll give these guys a quick scene, and then we'll get back to you. But for you, Streak, it's dark. You're like sort of stumbling along, and like
While
she
he's
doesn't seem to
like,
care.
while he's having trouble, can I go into stealth?
You want to
Can I
hide
go
from
into
him?
stealth? Yeah, no, I'm just gonna go into because I don't know what's down here. So,
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, if you want to try and hide and like sneak along, okay.
and it
yeah.
also might make it to where I can see like scout ahead a little bit if I don't fail horribly.
Yeah, I mean
and
it's
stealth.
pitch black, so Streak will lose track of you very quickly. Make a stealth test. Do it at like 40.
Okay.
Jesus. Okay, SL6 stealth. So you vanish. You just like Streak. She gets ahead of you and disappears.
And I
I
It's
say,
just dark.
I think as I vanish, I just say, "I'm going ahead," and then I just like disappear.
how can you even see down here? And up, you're gone.
So Streak, you're essentially alone now in this long dark hallway. You hear the click behind you of the secret door swinging shut. And now as your eyes adjust, you see in front of you, maybe 10 feet, there is a line of light bisecting the corridor. It seems like there's a hole on the wall on the left where light is coming through.
Well, I start heading over there.
Okay, yeah. So as you get closer, you see that it's actually two holes. And in the very dim illumination, you can see that there is a set of wooden stairs that lead up to these holes in the wall.
Peepholes, I say out loud, and go take a look.
Mhm. Yeah. Okay. So you climb up and you put your face up to them, and we cut to a room. We see
I
a,
also
a
say,
painting.
if this is a bathroom, I'm going to be very upset.
we cut to a room. There's an enormous painting of like an elderly dowager with her tiny dog, and she's sitting like posing for this painting, and her eyes are the eyes of a beggar looking back and forth in the room. And in the room, this is unusual. So I mean, compared to everything else you've seen, so in the room you see a man. He is the academic that you saw before, with his coat. He has a leather bag, but he's set it down next to him. He has oiled like black hair that's like pulled back from a widow's peak. He looks like a man who is trying to cling to youth, but is quickly aging. And he has features that are different from the people around you. He looks like he's not from here. You saw him earlier, and he is currently gently running his hand over a glass cabinet. It's laying down. At first, maybe you think it's a table, but it's a glass-topped cabinet, maybe about 6 feet long, about 4 feet wide, and all around it, like on the floor and in vases, are flowers that have all like withered and dried. And he's just like stroking this cabinet and like whispering quietly.
I walk up behind him.
Oh Jesus!
I walk up behind Streak, and I'm just like, oops. What do you see? And I like say that in one ear, and then I go to the other. Someone in there, and I just like am whispering in either ear.
So
Am I
Streak,
making a
do you-
cool roll on this?
Yeah, I think I would need to. Yeah, make a cool roll here.
Cool under
Make a cool
pressure.
roll, Streak.
All right. Lucky.
Nice. So
Okay,
cool.
yeah, you're able to like bite back the yelp that attempts to escape your lips. Yeah. What do you say to Beatrix?
I say, something interesting in a glass case with dead plants all around it. And the man that tried to hide his height. Just look through. Just look. I back away. Just look.
As
Your
he
face.
says, man that tried to hide his height is the perfect segue to me. Grim has been outside the door going over the plan in his head. He's like, go in. Take out a friend. He's no bother. Too's easy. Grab the youngie. Tie her up. Go out the window. Easy. Easy. All right. And he kicks the door open and he jumps in the room and he says, all right, I'm
The hallway. Yeah.
There's no one there.
Right, because they've gone away, right? So yeah, we see you in the hall, and then you bust into the room, like, and they're all they're gone.
Rope in one hand and club in the other. He's like, all right, Amelia, come in with. Where are they?
Right, so you're like looking around the room. So Beatrix, we cut back to you? Do you actually let's cut to Mila. So Mila, you were in the wine cellar. There are bottles of wine all along one side. There are some wheels of cheese. There are some hanging like cuts of meat, but it's quite empty. It looks like it's recently been kind of ransacked in preparation for the feast. And yeah, you wanna explore a little bit?
Yeah, I wanna look around, and because in my very long life of finding witchcraft, I mean, people could be hiding evidence of witchcraft anywhere, right? So
That's right.
Yeah.
Even
So
here
I'm
among the cheese.
even here amongst the cheese. So I look around, try to use my witch hunter intuition to see if anything seems afoot.
Okay, all right. Yeah. Make a perception roll.
Okay.
Down here in the cheese hovel with your lantern.
No modifier? What would my modifier be?
No, I don't think so. Okay, all right. So you search search the place.
While I'm searching.
You do, yeah. It's the most attractive anyone has ever looked in a wine cellar / cheese hole. Now you don't find anything hidden. No secret doors. No twist the wine bottle and find. So you're searching around, and you come upon at the back. I think even with a failure, just by looking around, there are boxes that have been stacked up, but behind them, there appears to be a door. Like these boxes are stacked in front of this door.
Oh my!
And yeah. So you see that.
Is there anything in the boxes?
Probably.
Can I just want to basically just walk through just kick them aside, and just go through this door.
Just smash them like empty crates from yon video game.
When I imagined it initially, I stomp through them, but I think it would be more believable to kick them aside.
You're like a rolling Dark Souls character.
Yeah, literally.
Sure. Yes.
Okay,
yeah.
great.
Let's have you make a strength test.
Okay.
And give yourself a plus 30 because they're just wooden boxes. A brilliant failure. So it's not so much that you're
so hot though.
Stubs up.
Yeah. It's not that you fail to do it. It's that as you're doing it, so you throw them aside in slow motion, lens flare. You hear a voice behind you as you throw aside. You hear this deep voice. You hear, "Excuse me."
I turn around.
Yeah, so you see, limned in the wan light of your lantern, the enormous body of the valet, of the footman, and he's standing there, and he cracks the knuckles of one hand.
I
Are you
stare at
looking
him.
for something? Yes, you just give him the eyeball.
The stink eye.
I am, in fact, looking for something.
So attractive. And he squints. And what is that?
If you were to guess, if you were to suppose, if you were to ponder upon what I could possibly be looking for, what would it be?
He's confused by this interaction. He's confused by what's happening to him right now. So I don't know, like I think he looks, he stares at you and scowls and like, what do you want him to do here exactly?
I want him to just kind of be like, I guess I'm trying to intimidate him.
Okay, yeah, okay. Sure. I just wanted to be sure what was happening.
Yeah.
Okay, you
Or
can
surely,
roll to
in a game of hide and seek, so they say, it would not be a problem to seek unless one has something to hide.
Make your roll. Roll intimidate. Do it with a minus 10. Because my God.
Minus 10?
Yeah,
God.
you're terrible.
Roll your.
Just go ahead and just.
Oh my
and-
god.
Oh, all right. So he says, whatever you think you're looking for, you won't find it down here. Now, time to go. And he like takes a threatening step towards you.
I take a threatening step toward him.
Oh my god.
Okay. All right. He reaches out to like grab you.
I swat his hand away.
Okay. All right. Do you want to try to like swat him away and like run, or do you want to fight him, or what's your
I wanna
plan
fight
here?
him.
Seduce
Yeah,
him.
I want to fight him.
So you swat his hand out of the way, and then what? Punch him in the face, or?
Yeah. Cold clock.
Okay. Yeah, do it. Let's have you roll. Let's
Okay.
see. If you're fighting him unarmed, I think it's just because you're not using a weapon. I think it's just a strength test. Let me look
Okay.
real quick for punching. And this isn't like combat. He's not gonna like fight back. But if you succeed, you would knock him out. Melee brawling. Yeah, weapon skill. Okay, so yeah, roll that.
Weapon skill?
Yes.
Uh,
Yeah,
melee
roll
brawling.
where it says melee brawling. It's on the right in the skills.
Oh shit! Got it.
There you go.
Great. And no modifier.
Correct.
Fourth fumble ink.
Why
mean, you
do you
got-
do this?
You got fortune points. It's fine.
Shit!
Okay. All right. Now hold on. I have to roll. We're doing an opposed roll. So I'll roll his brawling. So let's see. He's gonna try to brawl his way out of this. If you win, you like win the fight. You knock him out, and you can get away or whatever. If he wins, he's gonna like restrain you and like drag you out with him.
Okay.
So let's see how he does. He's got a couple of advances on this.
go.
Time to go. You're coming with me. Okay,
Ooh.
so do you want to spend a fortune to reroll? I've got a +2.
I still don't completely understand like how this system works.
How
Like
you failed so
badly I
terribly?
failed. Yeah.
Okay, so what it does is you're rolling a percentile dice, rolling D100s, and you
Right.
want to get your skill or lower, and the further from your skill you get, the higher your success level, right? So his is +2 because you rolled 26 under 45. You failed because you rolled 73 over
Oh.
42. So you failed
Oh,
by
fuck, I
three degrees.
So,
Yeah.
so basically, if you had 50 points in a skill, you would have a 50-50 chance of winning
got
every
you.
roll.
Yeah, and the skill is a
Gotcha.
combination of your points and your ability that it's based on. So if you'd like to spend a fortune, you could re-roll that.
Yeah, I'll do
test.
it. Yeah, why
Okay,
not?
All right, so spend off one of your fortunes. Try to beat
Okay.
Horst's +2. You know, at the lowest number possible. Roll that. Okay, well you failed. You failed less poorly. You failed. It was very close. So you lunge at him. You go for his eyes or whatever, and he grabs your wrist and he twists you around and gets your like arm up behind your back. And he says, "There'll be plenty of time for that kind of behavior later. Come with me." And he like drags you up out of the cellar. And we see in the light, the lantern has fallen from your hands. We see in the lantern light above the door there is a sign that reads, "No entry."
Oh
Dragged
shit!
away.
I thought you were gonna have it say something like water closet. Like
Yeah, right.
there wasn't anything there in the first place.
Corpse hole. So yeah, he drags you away. Meanwhile, Beatrix and Streak, you were in the back like hallway. What are you doing? Did you want to take a look, Beatrix, and see in the room?
Did we hear at all Sam breaking the door?
No, I don't think so. This hallway is quite soundproof.
Yeah, I guess I lean forward and I take a look into the room.
Okay, all right. So yeah, you see the man. You see what Streak described. It's a man. There's a sort of dusty glass case, and he's sitting now on a stool, a velvet stool, and he has his elbows up as if in prayer. His elbows up on the box, and he's holding a handkerchief, and you can see the mark of like tears on his face, and he's speaking like quietly to himself.
Hmm. Can I tell anything about this case?
Yeah, you can make a perception check to try to get some detail about the room. This eye hole thing is explicitly designed for this, so give yourself a like 30 bonus.
Okay.
Nice. SL2. Okay. So you peer through and you let your eyes adjust, and we cut back, and Grandma, the portrait of Grandma has like different eyes now, and your eyes adjust to the light, and you can see that in the case, under the thin like layer of dust on top, which he's wiped some of, you see a beautiful young girl. She's a teenager. Her skin is like sheet white. She has dark black, like oil black hair, and her hands are crossed over her chest. She's wearing a white lace gown, and she's in this glass box. And and the guy is like leaned over, and he's like wringing his hands, and he's like crying. He's not sobbing, but he's like, he's got tears streaking down his face.
So is she alive?
She's sealed in a glass box, so it doesn't look like she's alive. No, I mean it's hard to tell from this distance, but she's not like breathing.
Okay, so she's not breathing, so she's this is weird.
Uh-huh. She's not dead. No, she looks like not alive.
I want to see if there's a way to open the painting.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. There's a switch. You look, there's like a latch, and the whole painting can like swing in to step into the room.
Yeah. I'm
Would you
gonna
like to do
step
that?
into the room.
So are you
All right,
crazy?
Streak. Yeah, Streak, you see her reaching
We
for
have
the
upper hand right now. I believe that I saw a witch
And
hunter
I,
down
like,
at the party,
here.
and this looks witchy. And I'm sure there would be a big scandal. We should just go find the vaguely attractive witch hunter.
Vaguely, how dare you?
Wow. I don't even listen.
Yeah, so you just
I
pull the
just
switch and
step
okay. All right, yeah. So the doorway opens before you. The panel, Grandma splits down the middle and opens up, and you step into the room. And the man, he gets up. He's like, "Mein Gott!" and like steps back. He drops his handkerchief, and, like gasps, grabs his chest, and he looks at the painting, and he says, "Where did you come from?
And
What's going on here?"
I look at him and I look at the painting and I look at him and I go, "Really?"
And he squints at you and he says, I don't know you. What are you doing here?"
I walk over to the case and I look in it.
He steps between you and the case and like puts his hands out dramatically.
So Streak, you're seeing this. You can like step in or
Mm.
like stay lurking if you want.
I
Does he
bring
notice
my
me
I bring my
standing in the
dagger
painting?
out.
No, he hasn't
Opening
seen
now?
you yet. No.
Okay. Then I step into view, I guess.
Okay.
Yeah. Does he
All right,
notice?
so yeah, he looks. Yeah, he looks. His eyes flick to you and then back to Beatrix.
Then I hold
And
up
he,
my cup and I go, "Glass."
You're that beggar from before. But you I've never seen. Why have you come to this house, this cursed place? What are you doing here? Don't you know it's cursed?
While he's talking, I interrupt him. I bring my dagger to his throat.
And he like gasps and he says, yes, yes, my time has come. I will join my beloved. And he closes his eyes like, you go do it.
And you just see me smile. And then I lean forward and I say, tell me about this house.
He turns dramatically and throws himself onto the glass coffin. And he's like, thwarted again, my beloved synesthesia. Someday we will be reunited. And he's just like crying, like draped over the coffin.
Can I grab the back of his head and slam his head into the glass?
Yes.
Not enough to break it, but enough to like knock him up.
Yes. You completely can.
Adam's
Yeah,
eyes
so you just
went
grab
so wide.
So you just grab the back of his head and just bonk his face on the glass really hard, just to like shake him out of it. Okay.
And I go, "What are you?"
Make a brawling test at +40.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah. So you like slam his face. You probably break his nose. A splatter of blood hits the surface. So her face, you see this like blood splatter like throw across the glass. And you jerk him back, and he's got blood pouring out of his nose. And he's like, yes, yes.
And as he says this, I lean forward and I whisper, tell me what I want to know, and I'll give you your death.
And he
as
nods.
this happens, we cut back to the room, and Grimbonk has like this shudder. It's like this terrible feeling that someone else is doing the bonking. And he's like,
that's right. Someone somewhere just got bonked, and you can feel it. You can feel it in your guts.
He's been looking for clues, and he's like, oh no, that ain't right.
You hear the unmistakable sound of a man's skull hitting a hard surface.
That's my job.
Yeah. So would you like to try to like rush towards the source of the bonking?
I mean, so Grim's he's been hitting the walls and stuff. He's trying to find out.
Yeah, I think it's reasonable. I think it's reasonable that for the sake of like we as the audience have seen the secret door, so it doesn't make sense for Grimbonk to have to search for it again. So yeah,
okay,
you
cool.
could find it.
We cut to Grimbonk on a footstool, and he's like, he's kind of reaching. He's like, gotcha. And the door swings open, knocks him flat on his ass, and he sees a dark hallway in front of him.
Yeah, you see the dark hallway, you see the light, you see Streak standing in the light with his shadow being cast into the hall, and you can kind of hear what's going on in the other room. So Beatrix, you've just slammed this guy's face down, you yank him back up, and so what did you say to him?
I told him to tell me what I want to know about the house, and then I'll give him his death.
And he says, he says, but you came here not knowing. Oh, you poor fool. You poor fool. And he starts laughing.
Slap him.
Yeah, you slap him and he says, it is a story that is familiar to me. I too was once a guest in this place. You see, I am but an innocent doctor, come from the far north, here to practice my medicine. And he looks down and he says, the Von Torrens brought me here to save their daughter. And woe, my heavy heart, I could not do it. And now, in my shame and sorrow, I am trapped in this place. Like, my blood drips onto his shirt.
How are you trapped here?
So long as my beloved remains in this cursed place, I can only join her in death.
So you're not leaving because, and I look at the person in the glass, because of that?
and he looks up at you and he says, I would gladly take my own life if it meant seeing her again. But I am a coward. He like looks away.
So dramatic. I turn back to Streak and I say, he's been here long enough. He has to know what you're looking for.
He's what I'm looking for. This is a huge scandal.
So I shouldn't kill him.
No, we need him to tell his story to everyone so Von Torrance goes down.
You see me sigh. It's like disappointment. All right. And I'm gonna attempt to knock him out, but not kill
So
him.
while this is happening, you're like hanging on to him. You're thinking about giving him a bonk.
Yeah.
And Grimbunk, would you like to make your entrance?
Yep. Grimbunks, he's kind of just been in the doorway. There's like a mirror in the room, and he's kind of fixed his eye patch, and he's like, "Look, medicine." Yep. he kind of waddles into the hallway, and he makes himself big. And you just hear from the darkness of the hallway behind Streak. Well. What do we have here?
Yeah, so you hear this
Some
voice, this
footsteps.
rumbling voice, and these heavy footsteps coming from the hallway. And then do you step out into the light, Grimbunk?
No, I stay in the shadow.
Okay, cool. So there's this like ominous voice coming from the hallway.
But since I have night vision, I can see him.
He hasn't come around the corner yet, so he's not visible through the doorway.
Yeah,
I mean, let's see. Grimbunk.
I'm going for that scare
Let's-
tactic right now. You can just hear me.
Yeah, let's have
can't
you
see me.
make a roll. Let's see how scary it is. I think that this is an intimidate roll. Plus you've got the shadows going for you. You got the fact they haven't seen you yet.
Yeah.
So give yourself a plus 20.
Okay.
And we'll see how intimidating this is.
He's short. It's not our fault we
Nice.
haven't seen him.
So you got a +4. You got a +4. So this is like, yeah, you hear this like reasonably intimidating, like scary. There is a scary person in that hallway. How do you respond? Streak, I think you're closest to it. What are you gonna
I
do?
turn around and look up into the darkness and go, I'm a humble beggar. Humble, just looking for brass. Don't hurt me.
Beatrice, what do you do?
Well, you see me let go of the man, and
Okay, yeah,
I
he-
take
he
out.
falls
I
onto
take
the
out
coffin
both my
again.
daggers. So, like, I'm ready to fight,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't
Okay,
say anything.
Grimbunk.
I let Streak do the talking.
Okay. So, Grimbunk, are you gonna step out into the light?
Yeah.
Okay.
As he steps out, that little sticker's not going to do you no good.
But as he steps out, I'm expecting like this giant like man, and then whenever I see it's a dwarf, I'm just like,
The camera stays at human eye height, and he steps into the room, and then it pans down. And do you laugh? Do you laugh at him?
yeah, you just hear me go.
She laughs at you, Grimbunk.
And I say,
They
say-
always do that.
dwarf, look out. There's a beast behind you. Get out of the way.
The only beast here is the way you smell. Now step aside.
Up is full.
My business is with Adam Koebel.
And
I
I look,
step
I
out
look
of the
at the
way.
glass.
Mhm.
I look at the glass case and I'm like, but she's already dead.
Beatrix is not very smart, I
will.
guess.
Grimbonk waddles up to you and he reaches in his jerkin and he hands you a wanted poster. And he points to you and he's at you, yeah?
And I unroll it. I look at it.
Yeah. Now it doesn't. You're very good at like you hide your face most of the time, so there's no picture of you on here. But it is indeed a wanted poster in the sum of several hundred pieces of gold for you, captured alive, and brought to justice. And it has like a list of
I
your most
fold it
recent
back up.
crimes.
I fold it back up and I hand it to him. I'm like,
I
"You'll
guess
have
you
to
can't
read it
read,
to
so
me."
you just see your own
Yeah.
name on it.
I hand it back to him. Like, you'll have to read it to me. I don't know what this is.
You're just gonna have to trust me that it is you.
You're looking. You're looking for Helga. Is that what that says?
No, I'm after you.
I don't know. My name's
Ow.
Helga Schmidt.
Hold out your arms. Just gonna slide you up.
So the two of you are talking, and the guy has lifted himself up off of the coffin, and he looks imploringly at you, and he says, "Please, you have to understand. You cannot leave this place. I am telling you, it's cursed. You don't understand. You're going to die here." And when he says that, you hear the sound of like a ringing bell. And this isn't the dinner bell. This is a louder iron bell. And the doctor says, "Oh, mein Gott, it's time." And you can hear like movement throughout the house. You can hear people like in the room above this. You can hear them like open and close the door. You can hear footsteps. Like people are all being called back to the main room. And we cut to you and Horst. And Horst is leading you back to the dining hall. Are you talking to him? Are you trying to get away? What's happening during this? Because he's got you in like an arm lock and is like pushing you along.
While we were walking along, I went into multiple monologues about how, I was there to vanquish evil, and that I believed there was a great evil in this house, and how could he possibly stand in the way of good triumphing over evil? And surely he had something to hide, and one day he and I would cross paths. Yes, we would. And I went on and on and on and on and on. And at this point, I've given up.
Yeah, right. So you're just kind of like surly and quiet, and he's pushing you along, and he shoves you through the door into the hall, and things have changed somewhat. So in the dining hall, there is an enormous table. The room is lit from above by several beautiful, though cobwebbed chandeliers lit with candles. The guests are coming in, though there seem to be there are much far fewer of them than there were before. Like maybe a third of the original guests are coming into the room, and the guests that are shuffling into the room now are masked or hooded. So we see some of them wearing like masquerade masks in strange sort of twisted faces. We see a few in like leather hoods with like a zippered eyes. They're dressed differently now. They've gone off and changed. So they've taken off their big puffy dresses and replaced them with leather spiked bustiers. And that's just the dudes. And at the table, there is an enormous spread of meats and dishes, other dishes. We see candied apples and various like succulent meals. The serving staff is all there, but they're in chains as they bring in the food. And at the head of the table, we see the father. And the lord of the house, and he's wearing a crown on his head made out of like human finger bones, like grasping up at the sky. The mother is wearing a black cloak and has like a bird mask on her face. And sitting in the chair on a big pile of like dead bodies. They're just piled up in the chair so that he's up at level. Naked bodies is just this kid, and he's sitting and smiling, and he's just got like jam or something like all over his face and the front of his outfit. And he's just kicking his little feet and smiling.
Sure it's jam.
Yeah, and as you're pushed into the room, we see this scene. And one of the priest of Sigmar, he's still dressed in his priestly robes. He's ringing a bell with a big metal hammer as you're brought into the room. And I think that's the scene where we'll go to break on this orgy of delights. And so we fade out on that, and when we get back, we will continue with Act 2 of Warhammer Fantasy Roleplay.
Amazing.
Don't go anywhere.